Hey guys, another video for the Pilots in Japan playlist. Probably more for people who enjoy aircraft, although there will be some scenery in the country, so some people might enjoy that too if they're not into aeroplanes. Somebody recently asked if we could show some images of Japanese self-defense forces aircraft, so you're going to glimpse occasional one if you watch this video. So we took a 172, there's a friend beside me there, there's a friend behind me with the camera in his hand, flying out of Kaki Airport, which is in Aichi-ken. Reasonably busy airport, movement's fairly constant there, and the base is shared between civilians and the Japanese Self-Defense Force, so some interesting aircraft coming and going from there. Reasonably good day, a little bit of wind, not much. Reasonably good conditions, a little bit hazy as you'll see, but overall pretty good. There's a Self-Defense Force aircraft over there and their hangars. So they're on one side of the airstrip and the civilians are on the other side. So my buddy in the back took some of this footage for us, and he wasn't used to the camera, and it is very hard in a light aircraft taking video by hand, so he did a pretty good job all things considered. But we also had another camera mounted on the aircraft, which is a little bit more stable of course. So you can see Nagoya City off there in the distance. That used to be Nagoya's international airport until they built the new one. They built a new airport on reclaimed land out near the ocean. So until then, about 5 or 6 years ago, that was the international airport for Nagoya. Now it's just a domestic airport with the Self-Defense Force people flying in and out of there as well. So I've cut this down a bit. We show you pretty well everything for this first couple of minutes, and then we'll cut it all down because we were flying for about an hour. I'm going to try and keep it reasonably interesting. It's a bit of a balancing act. I know there'd be some people who love aeroplanes and love flying who'd love to sit and watch a whole hour of this, but there'd be other people that probably wouldn't, so we'll try and keep you both happy. So this is on climb to 2,500 feet. And we have a couple of targets. One target was Toyota. Wanted to fly over Toyota Stadium, show you guys Toyota Stadium, Toyota City, and then continue out to a little town out in the mountains that we've been to before and showed you guys before, but we'll show it to you from a different angle this time. So my buddy there beside me's got a radio operator's license, so those of you who've been keeping track of this story know I've got all my qualifications to fly in Japan, but the only one we haven't jumped over so far is the radio operator's license, because it's all in technical electronics all in Japanese, so haven't got around to that one yet. But as long as I've got someone else on board who's got a radio operator's license, I can use the radio, oddly enough. They don't even have to do anything. They can actually sit in the back seat if they want to, which is strange. That's a golf course down there, guys, you might have noticed. So we're sort of getting out in the outskirts of the goings on here a bit. Yeah, there's been an edit of course, but here's another golf course. There's quite a few. Golf's pretty popular in Japan, as some of you already know. So this is over the top of Toyota City. where the cars are manufactured. Actually, the Toyota company uses suppliers from all over Japan. So Toyota cars, lots of the parts are actually made in other parts of Japan, but there is a huge Toyota factory in Toyota that manufactures the Toyota cars. Unfortunately, they don't like cameras in their factory. They do give people tours of their factory, but they don't like people taking cameras in there, so I can't show you guys, unfortunately. So that white bridge down there, you've actually seen, we did a driving tour of Toyota to Music once in a car, and you saw that bridge, that white bridge, and Toyota Stadium beside it there. And those of you who watch soccer, who've seen soccer played in Japan, might have seen games played at that stadium. Quite an impressive stadium with a roof that opens, and yeah, quite a nice stadium, that one. So they've sort of built on one side of the river there. You can see the Toyota Stadium's been built in the middle of the rice fields, and then on the other side of that river you can see downtown Toyota. So that's the main part of Toyota, with the Toyota train station and all that sort of stuff. But Toyota's actually sort of spread out over a pretty big area. And the Toyota factory isn't really just one factory. They've got one huge plant, but then they've got other plants around the place that make parts and make different bits and pieces. And then sort of the biggest factory in Toyota is the really big one where they're assembled, the cars are assembled, but a lot of the parts are actually made elsewhere around the place, around Toyota and around the country. I've actually got a friend that lives down there near that stadium. Oh, look at that, guys, another golf course. So we've had another edit, of course. We've moved on from Toyota up towards the mountains, and as we get towards the mountains here, we find another golf course. And if you look on the other side, so that golf course is on one top of one mountain there, one hill there. You look across the other side of that valley, you can see another golf course. And up the valley, this is really common, this is what you see in Japan, a high percentage of Japanese land is actually unusable. I can't remember what it is, it's a very high number. It's like 60% of land in Japan is actually unusable. So a lot of people are often surprised to see these images of these mountains with the trees. And you'll see in the valley there, they've got the little towns in the valley and a few rice fields in there and stuff. And that's typical of what you see all over Japan, is that obviously these mountains are fairly severe and not really usable, so nobody lives on them. And usually they live down in the valleys next to the water, next to the rivers and the streams, and put their rice fields down there, because obviously the water is essential for the people and for the rice. And it leaves these mountains like this. So often people are really surprised by this. It doesn't really fit in with a lot of people's images of what Japan's about, but here it is. So this is coming up on that little village, guys. You've seen, those of you who've watched a lot of our videos have seen one we made recently of a castle, and the castle's underneath us here on the top of that hill. You also might have seen one on the environment playlist of some fairly spectacular scenery taken during autumn, and that was actually taken on that mountain down there as well, with the amazing autumn colours, with the oranges and the yellows and the reds. And we're a bit early, another couple of weeks, another 2 or 3 weeks, this mountain here will be covered in that colour, yellows and reds and oranges and amazing colours. We might not come back in here at autumn, but we'll go other places. There's that castle. Some of you might recognise from the other video. And you can see the colours of the trees there around that castle are starting to turn. Another 2 or 3 weeks, that'll be quite spectacular there. So if you want to see that video, it's on the environment playlist, guys. But again, look at the valley. All the buildings all very close together down there, very typical in Japan. This is exactly what you see. So lots of space with no houses at all, no buildings at all, and then a valley like that with everybody crammed in side by side, really close together. Lots of buildings really close together. It's very normal here. The pilots watching this might be wondering where we're going to go if we have an engine failure here. It's pretty tight. There's a couple of options down there, but they're pretty small options going on down there. So yeah, we took the same route back that we took to get there, so we didn't film I haven't shown you the trip back because it was basically the same, back over the top of Toyota. So you can see the airfield there on the right hand side of the screen. Across to Nagoya through the left hand side of the aeroplane, doing a right circuit of course. See the flap coming down there at the back of the wing, flap drop down, one stage of flap. So yeah, that was an international airport until six years ago. Nice little angle that. Oh, you'll see another degree of flap drop there. See the flap's going down again. There it goes. You can see Nagoya off in the distance there under the wing, those tall buildings. Yahoo, nice and busy down there, isn't it? Look at that. Those of you who've been watching this playlist would have remembered the last time I flew a 172 into here. It was a pretty average landing, so I was a bit more on my game this day. A little less rusty. I bet my mate was nervous though. He was with me last time when I did the really bad landing, so he was probably pretty nervous, but he didn't say anything. He just sat there. I'm sure he was. Sure he was very nervous. Might see some more flap coming out there in a second. Oh, not yet. Oh, not yet. Oh, there it goes. The aircraft was actually more stable than it looks. It's the camera that's actually moving around, guys. The conditions were pretty stable that day, so the aircraft was pretty stable. You can actually see better out through the side, I think. There's a fixed camera, you can see it's a little bit more stable than it looks with the handheld camera. You ready for this, guys? Watch this. There it comes. There it is, touchdown. How's that, smooth? Better than last time, wasn't it? Anyway. A little bit less embarrassing. So yeah, quite a nice day. So we'll go out again sometime in the next few weeks. Find another interesting place to visit to show you guys. Looking forward to the snow actually. When the snow comes in December, January, we'll go and hit the mountains and fly over some snowy countryside, I think. But those of you who haven't seen the Pilots in Japan playlist, who are into this sort of thing, might want to have a look at the Pilots in Japan playlist. There's another couple of flights on there and a bit of other stuff about pilot licenses and stuff in Japan, so some of you might find that interesting. I'll have to get the radio. I'll get you some radio footage. This is a crack up. I was sitting here talking to the ground guy and had to use Japanese I'll get you some footage. I'll get you some sound of that because that's quite interesting listening to the radio here. Anyway, we had a great time. Hope you guys enjoyed it too. More videos coming soon.